because I was an installer then. And so he was my helper installer. It was a small shop then, so that we, everybody did everything. So he would sometimes help Jack, and sometimes he would help me. Paul was very precise. His memory was good, and I depended on him for the memory, because I would, throughout the day, hey, Paul, remember to take this tomorrow. Hey, Paul, remember to take this tomorrow. And he would get it all ready.
What really stuck out with me was he's really detailed for safety, and in a good way, but almost overboard. Like, he'd want to know where the fire extinguisher was. And if anything was going to go wrong, he wanted to know what to do.
Extremely clean. Precise. And he already knows the answer before the question's already been asked. Really smart guy.
I learned everything I know about HVAC pretty much through Paul. He would explain things in an easy way to understand, and so it just helped make my job easier. Very organized, even to the OCD part, but I like a good organized person. It just makes life go easier. Customers loved him right from the get-go. There's been some very sad customers who have really are disappointed that he's gone, and who's going to replace him? Is there anyone as good as Paul? Paul's only ever looked after my stuff. Nobody else has touched it. We had one customer who wanted to know if there was a way he could get Paul's private phone number and see if he could pay him under the table to still come and work for him.
I got the ice in my veins, I will melt, but I don't know how.
Myself, as well as many other techs, we started with Paul. Like, he was the potter. He molded us, to how Handy Bros is today, I guess. And yeah, he was the go-to guy, right? There was no Dr. Google. It was Dr. Paul, right?
Like, he didn't stand out. He didn't want to stand out. He was just consistent, day in and day out. He didn't complain. He just went about his job. Very down to earth, easy to talk to. He was loyal. He was an expert at his job, and lots of integrity.
Paul actually was our neighbor when we were kids.
And I remember biking down the street, and the Handy Bros van was always there. It was Paul, right? Still lives there today, anyway. But yeah, I remember, like, when I was a kid, I always played tradesman, right? And Paul was the only tradesman on our street, and we'd see him all the time. He probably remembers us, but, like, we never actually talked to him. Technically, he's been around our lives forever, so secretly.
Harold didn't want to hire me, and he put me with Paul and said, like, go and train him, see if he's capable of anything. And I was 20 years old, and I remember Paul took me out, and probably for like 2 weeks, I rode with him, something like that. He just knew everything. And after 2 weeks, he gave Harold the go-ahead, and I went on my own. I probably called him like every day for like months as I was learning, but he would always answer the phone, super patient, no problem, always loved helping me out. And I always felt like I owed him. I would say probably for like 7 years, I took all of his on-call, every single weekend he had, just so that he never had to do it, so that he would also always help me. And that's why I got really good.
Got the ice in my veins, I will melt, but I don't know how.
I started here. I was with him for co-op, and within, I guess it'd be 6 months ago, he had my son in as a co-op. So I guess he's kind of multi-generational now. I mean, I don't know how many people can say that, but I got to thank him for that.
He saved me from dogs even. I remember going into a customer's house, a German Shepherd of all things. Paul grabbed his tool bag and just went between the dog and myself too. And he said, nope, we're done here. So yeah, we just slept out. So yeah, I won't forget that. Yeah, freaked me out, that's for sure. He can carry himself very well.
Every time there was a new staff person on the service team, it was Paul's responsibility for them to ride with him. I even rode with Paul one time. It was great. It was a fun day. Paul is, as we all know, very neat and organized. And I remember, I don't know if you'll like this, Paul, but I remember when we're having lunch and you're like, careful, don't spill in my truck. And I'm thinking, oh, well, I wasn't really planning to, but...
When we would go on break, it'd be right around 10 o'clock in the morning, we'd go find Tim Hortons. He'd know someone sitting down and they'd say hi, Paul, and he'd say hello. He'd order his, I believe, sour cream glaze and a small black coffee. And as we would sit down, Paul would put his donut down, his coffee down, and he would open up the donut like a present. And he would eat the donut with the paper white, like flat and open like that. Also with his coffee cup, when he would go to open his coffee, he would open the tab and then he would just pull it straight through and it would rip right off. So he would have this like V shape in his coffee cup and he would drink that coffee all day. The same one would last all day. He would sip on it all through. We would leave, we'd go do calls and he would just sip on it all through the rest of the day. So, and that was daily. This happened every single day with Paul. So I remember that distinctly.
His van, he would do a circle check every time he got in and out of it to make sure nobody had opened a door or hit it or anything like that. His van was spotless, outside, inside. Everything inside the van had its spot. Never a thing out of place, never. I was at Paul's Stag and Doe. And they had you paid so much money and you got to throw a wet sponge at them and they had them stood up there at the front. So I spent a few bucks.
So you walk in, you greet the customer, you say, hey, my name's Nick. Working with Handy Bros here. Paul trained me actually, and Paul's not here today, but I'm here to take care of you and fix your problem. And immediately when you name drop Paul, they would love you. Like they would immediately be like, oh, okay, great. Yeah, well, Paul knows this and Paul knows this, and you can call him if you don't know. Stuff like that. So he has a very powerful name. There are people who call in, which we still are gonna have to solve the problem, but they call in and say, if I don't get Paul, just cancel the appointment. In fact, don't tell him, but I wanna offer him a part-time job. I'm thinking like 8 to 12, but in the office. Doesn't have to be out. In the office, 8 to 12, customer service. He knows everything.
You ever seen the Chuck Norris jokes? Paul is like the Chuck Norris, okay? If there is a problem, it was the furnace's problem, right?
Exactly.
Everybody knows the story that he burnt down the Handy Brothers barn.
So I think everyone needs to, at some point, ask Paul tonight about the story of the old barn that is no longer there.
Yeah, he literally burned down the barn, and he was in the newspaper for that. Innocent Paul, right? So you can imagine what he felt like.
I likely sent him out to burn the garbage because we always had a burn area, and he lit the fire and left because that was his next duty to do, and that was typically fine. And Murray comes out there and comes in my office. The barn's on fire! The barn's on fire! Call the fire department! So I went out there almost in disbelief. So I felt awful. It was probably within the first year of being in ownership. It wasn't his fault.
Congrats on the retirement, Paul. You actually did it. I don't know how many other people are going to make it. Hopefully there's 25 more, but you're surely going to be missed.
You made it. Retirement. We will talk again. Probably hang out too. Congratulations, great job. Thank you for all your knowledge.
Woohoo! Congratulations, Paul. I wish you all the best in your retirement. You deserve it.
Congratulations, Paul, on retiring. Came in day in and day out. You did your job. I appreciate working with you. You taught me a lot. I hope to see you out in the real world.
Congratulations, Paul, on your retirement. I was wondering when that day was going to come, but glad to hear that you are, and we wish you all the best and good health.
Paul, way to go. Proud of you. We definitely enjoyed you as an employee. You were quite a model employee and a well-deserved retirement. Hope you and Jen can enjoy the time together. Enjoy it. It's the best thing.
Congratulations on your retirement, Paul. 37 years, that's quite literally a lifetime. We're super proud of everything you've done here. Proud to call you a bro. Thank you for all you've done. Hopefully we'll see you around soon.
Paul, congratulations on the 37 years here at Handy Bros. It was great to learn from you, great to have you around. We'll miss you, and I'll see you around.
Congratulations, Paul. Good luck in your future.
Congratulations, Paul. So happy for you and your retirement and everything that you've got going for you. Appreciate everything you did for this company and all those years of training. Me and Eric and all the boys here, you were the backbone of this company, and we wish you the best. Have a happy retirement, man.
And I can't feel her breathing now. And I'm inside my head and I think that it's time to get out.
Paul will hang in the Handy Bros Hall of Fame forever.